Wow. Asian, know what you look. What is she looking? Oh, it's a picture of her house. That was. Anyway, hi Mad. Yep, that's his
Another
name.
day, another empty room.
Dude, I've been helping you in these commissions to like tell stories better. What are you doing?
Excuse me? But are you Mada?
Mada? Okay.
Yes! Are you here to listen to my story?
Of the Legend of Antara?
Well, we actually came to ask about something else.
Look, man, just be grateful that we're actually here to see you.
I see.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm used to it, more or less. So, how can this terribly unpopular storyteller help you?
Do you know about Tales of Shariar?
Huh? Tales of Shariar? Why, I can barely remember the last time anyone talked about it.
Damn.
My master always talked about how incredibly popular that book used to be. However, I tried reciting a few chapters of it at the cafe, and I found that it's even less popular than the Legend of Antara.
Damn.
Your master?
Yes, the one who taught me how to be a storyteller. He said that Tales of Shariar was written by his master's master's master. He also said that this great-great-grandmaster was an academia researcher, and that even the sages liked the series. He wrote 4 volumes back then, and the reviews just got better and better. You couldn't find a single person in Sumeru who hadn't read his books.
Yeah, seems to line up.
And then? What happened next? Why doesn't anyone know about Tales of Shariar now?
You said 4 volumes, right? But there's a 5th one. We bought a 5th volume. And apparently the details in it don't coincide with what Faruzan knows about the story. So maybe the author fell off and... JK, maybe he died. And somebody else continued the series and it flopped.
Oh, it's hard to tell when it comes to trends. One day everyone likes stories like that, and the next day their tastes change completely.
I don't know if it's that quick, my guy.
Instead of writing a proper ending, this great-great-grandmaster kept trying to extend the story. To tap into popular trends, he added a lot of tropes. Then, starting from the 5th volume, the reviews started to go downhill.
Is this like a jab at something? I wonder. Maybe they're just like criticizing long ongoing shows that just want to keep going and going, and then over time they just suck.
How could that be? Then what happened to Tales of Shariar in the end?
He just never finished it, probably.
In the end, there's no ending. The great-great-grandmaster tried to write a few more volumes, following whatever trends were popular at the time, but the trends kept changing right as he published his books.
Okay.
He got so infuriated that he stopped writing altogether and focused on his research instead.
Probably a good decision, my guy.
What? So there's no ending? The readers didn't care?
They wouldn't care anymore after, like, he just kept adding bullshit.
By that time, only a very small number of people were reading Tales of Shariar. Anyway, my master probably exaggerated. How could a work possibly have been that popular? The only tangible thing my great-great-grandmaster left is the original draft of Legend of Antara. He also left behind many theses from his research phase. When my master talked about Legend of Antara, he'd even quote from those theses. My master is a much better storyteller than me. Even when we're telling the same story about Antara, he's always able to draw in a huge crowd. But even he won't recite Tales of Shariar due to its ever-changing writing style and its lack of an ending.
Damn.
So, Antara's story is the one that lasted through the years.
Well, not even sages can definitively ascertain the quality of something like a story. In the end, only time can separate the classics from the fads.
True.
Only time? Madame Faruzan? It's been 100 years. Perhaps some things I once believed to be great aren't so after all.
You know, I think you don't have to worry about that. The story's decline might not have been due to changing trends. It doesn't matter if it's a classic or a fact. What matters is that you like it.
Yeah! Master helped me find a lot of famous books at first. But in the end, I realized that I couldn't get into them. No matter how good those stories are, I can't improve my skills if I can't bring myself to read them in the first place.
True.
I think the best books for me are the ones I like.
The problem here is not actually about improving your reading skills, but I suppose the principle is the same.
Huh. Indeed. That is true. Readers' interest in trends of a time are not things that are so easily predicted. What was popular 100 years ago could be completely forgotten in modern times, and yet 100 years, as far as history is concerned, is but a blink of an eye. If Tales of Shahryar hadn't chased after trends and instead stuck to its original style from start to finish,
Well, there's a bit of an echo in the cafe.
it might have stood some chance of gaining renewed popularity. No, even if that didn't happen, at least it would be a work that was true to itself.
True.
Huh? Our conversation just got a lot more serious.
Uh-huh. We're talking about serious stuff, Kale.
I don't really get what you're talking about, but it does sound sensible. Looks like I also have to hang in there and tell Antara's story well.
You should think about the present first. You should think about your income first. Damn, bro! Yo! Going for the kill.
How unseemly. I almost got carried away because of a single book. Well then, we should get back to the matter of our teaching material.
Oh my.
It looks like we can't use Tales of Shahryar now.
How about the Legend of Antara, then?
No, it's much too old.
Well... I mean...
Oh.
Kale, you found a book that you liked at the bookstall, yes?
I liked a lot of those books, actually.
Yes, but I don't really... Then we'll use that book as our teaching material. Now that I think about it, using a book that you like is the most suitable choice for teaching you how to read.
That's what I've been saying, bro. It's a learning moment. Yeah, it's a teaching moment.
As for the academia, as long as we come up with an appropriate course name, we should be able to get away with this.
I propose appreciation of popular literature. Perhaps analysis of popular literature might do the trick.
My, it sounds like you've dealt with the academia before. Let's go with that. Now then, let's return to the book vendor in a bit and buy the latest volume of this Onibudo for Kale. But if I wish to use it as teaching material, I have to read it first.
In before she becomes obsessed with the series also.
Huh? Speaking of which, other than third eye of perception and illusory mirror, I also espy some unfamiliar phrases from the reader's messages at the back of the book. Such things as, even if it reminds me of my dark history, I still can't help but be drawn in by the story. And the author has written all the things that I only dare whisper into a tree hollow.
These are from Kale.
Why do people use dark history to refer to awkward or embarrassing memories? Is this some slang that was invented in the last century? If one of our learning objectives was researching linguistic changes over the past 100 years, it might make it easier to get these books approved as teaching material.
Oh, I can tell you what that's all about. Apparently, in their youth, some people used to imagine themselves as someone
Damn.
burdened by fate, fighting against the world, etc. But as they grew older, they started to become embarrassed by such memories. Some would write those fantasies into novels, while others would entrust such tales to tree hollows.
Madam You know, I suddenly have the urge to hear a story about Antara. Huh? Why so suddenly?
I think we can just ignore the whole dark history thing just for now. It's good to reminisce on an old tale in a while.
I knew it. There will always be people who love the golden oldies. Now, let me tell you all about the ancient hero, Antara.
Is that the end of... Okay. Tales of the past remain radiant even now. Aww. Well, okay. I'm done with that string of events. Okay. I gotta do another path. Gotta look for another way. Ooh. Oh yeah, Kali was so... Ah, my dark past. Ah, I am... I mean, it's true. It's true. Oh my god, if Faruzan knew what happened to Kale, like, it's appropriately called a dark history. Like, it's not even funny. Like, it's not even like Chunibyo or anything. It's like, for real. For real. She got experimented on, was torn away from her family. He had, like, the residue of an evil god put into her. And she was, like, tortured, etc. Like, it's a dark history, man. Like, give her that. Give it to her. If that happened to you, you'd be calling it a dark history too. Oh wait, no, that was wrong. I mean, this was right. You have not reached. I know. So yeah, that was just one academic. Doing paperwork sure is tough. Being a classic sure is... Oh my god. 1 out of 5. So I go back here. Okay. Octopoly. Alright. Oh, okay, straight into it. Nice, I like that.
Now? She seems so busy. Master said there's no rush, but I know that he's been busy working on something at Party's DI, so he hasn't returned to Gandharvaville for several days now. I feel for Madame Faruzan, but I still want to ask her to come with us. But if I get her in trouble with the academia, then she won't have the time to help Master. What should I do? Oh, this is such a headache.
Yeah, let's help her resolve her current problem first. And I think it was a thing of, should we get other students, or should we... Anyway, let's...
Yeah, that would be the best for them both. I'll check with Master later and see if there's anything I can help him with. But I'm sure he'll say, the best thing you can do now is study hard, so I don't have to give you remedial lessons.
Damn.
Huh? Oh yes! This way she can get her problem sorted out quickly, and then she can go see Master. So if I also stay and help... that still sounds kinda scary.
Let's observe the situation first.
Okay then. I'm counting on you.
Okay.
Huh. I have to teach students from Haravatat or Okashara a favor.
Right.
It strikes me that they might be even less happy about such a deal than I am.
I think I can sympathize with them.
Nadwa has no chill.
We're back, Madame Faruzan. The Traveler said that he can stay and help you.
Oh, why I couldn't ask for more. In fact, I'm rather curious about the type of person the traveler is. You were the one who taught Azara a lesson after all. That said, will I be troubling you?
It's no trouble at all.
Is that so? Good. It does so happen that I do have something I need help
My
with.
god. Laggy.
Now, should I apply to teach a course with Haravatat, or join the collaborative project that Kosharawar is proposing? Honestly, I don't want to choose either of them.
Yeah, we did Haravatat, now we're gonna go with Kasharawar. Let's hear about this Kasharawar collaborative project is all about.
I don't know if Tainari's told you about this before, but while my research involves learning about ruins and the mechanisms within them, I don't belong to Kasharawar, which specializes in researching mechanisms, nor am I in Spontamod, which specializes in researching energy flow. Instead, I'm part of Haravatat, which specializes in languages and scripts.
He only said that you're a very senior researcher in the field of mechanisms. So you don't belong to Kasharawar or Spantamad, huh?
She has been invited to Kasharawar multiple times to continue her research, but she's rejected them each time.
Just listen to how they introduce themselves. In the future, Kasharawar will be the only Darshan with the ability to research mechanisms. There's no such thing as exclusivity in knowledge.
That's true. They really should be, like, merging their disciplines, honestly. Like, what is with all of this, like, segregation?
Besides, the current Kasharawar is more concerned about how mechanisms can be used in everyday life, while my research involves textual analysis of ruins. If they're trying to use the collaborative project as an excuse to have me reconsider again...
No, that's not it. The request this time is from Akara Crafts. The representative of Kasharawar recommended you to them, Madame Faruzan. In truth, she told me that it's because she respects you a lot.
Oh, respect? Oh, my.
As she heard respect, and she was like, ding, 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 ding. Did you just say madam, but in a different way?
Putting aside my ideological differences with Kasharawar, I suppose I must acknowledge this attitude of theirs. At the very least, they're bounds above those decrepit Haravatat fools.
Damn. It wouldn't hurt to hear them out.
Yeah, Akara Crafts is a pretty nice shop.
Since both of you feel as such, I shall first hear this proposal.
Alright. I really like her, like, escape-looking thing.
In summary, Akara Crafts wants to design a series of early learning toys that will cultivate curiosity and learning in children.
That's nice. That's nice. That's a project you can get behind, Faruzan.
Early learning toys. Interesting.
Yeah.
The academia agreed to work with them because they hope that these toys can help children become excellent researchers in the future.
Their own agenda, I see. Not for general learning, just for more researchers.
True. The current academia is in need of some new blood. If the children start learning now, perhaps I can find some talented students in a few years.
Okay.
Madame Faruzan, you still haven't found any students?
Oof. Damn, Kale.
Anise, Kasharawar's representative, should be staying in the inn at Port Ormos. If you want more details, you can find her there.
Okay.
Port Ormos? Now there's a place I haven't been to in a long time. I wonder how much it's changed.
I probably can't join you since Port Ormos is a little far from here. I should probably go back and report to Master, and then review today's homework.
Yeah, that's fine, Kale.
No worries. Go do your homework, Kale. Once I'm done with everything here, I'll head over to Pardistii.
I'll take you there.
Thank you. Why, I'd even call this a rare chance for a curious researcher like myself to observe the legendary traveler up close.
I mean, I don't really talk, so you as a Haravatat researcher would not get very much out of me. Paimon, on the other hand, talks a lot. So, yeah. Good luck with that. Heyo. Hey, what's up?
Archon be praised. I can finally send a report to my superiors. Thank you so much.
Girl, you were so done.
I have no idea how we might have persuaded her otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. Don't worry about it. Port Ormos. Isn't Akara Crafts on the other side? Or anymore. Oh, okay, yeah, we're going to the hotel to meet Anis. Oh, the music.
Madame Faruzan! Oh, it's really you. Did you change your mind?
All right, calm down. Let me be clear. I'm still not all that interested in Ksharawar. I'm just here to see how the project is going. After all, you are here as representatives of the academia in this collaboration. The reputation of all research is at stake here, so I will not simply stand by should mistakes get made.
Damn. Excuses.
Either way, it's good that you were willing to come. Now, we've given Akara Crafts many ideas over the past couple of days. However, their owner thinks that our designs are too complicated, which will drive production costs too far up.
I'm just jamming here.
That's expected. Students who have never had to deal with budgetary constraints probably don't understand how important it is to keep costs low. How enviable. Oh,
By any chance, has it been very difficult for you to get funding for your research?
If you join the Ksharawar, your budget will be as big as you want it to be. I guarantee it.
Oh my god, girl. Just stop for a second. Don't do this right now. She doesn't want to be here. Do it after.
that's enough. I will not repeat myself.
Damn.
Take me to Akara Crafts owner first, if you please.
See? Oh, I knew she was gonna get mad.
All right. He's usually at the slope up ahead recruiting volunteers to test out his toys. Let's just head over.
At least she has a good attitude. I like this girl. Right. The slope. Over. See, I knew it was on the other side. Yeah. This is it, right? Yep, it's here. Hey, Mr. Vans.
Mamdu, the one I recommended is here.
Oh, so you're, Madame Faruzan?
Mamdo. Sorry.
Yes, that's me.
She's so happy.
Ah, wonderful. We haven't been able to make any progress on our collaboration recently. We've made many suggestions, but Miss Anis thought that those ideas were too simple and wouldn't be effective in training the mind.
These early learning toys are meant to help the academia train future researchers, after all. If they're too simple, then how are they any different from regular toys?
Gross.
But if they're too complicated, not only will they be expensive to produce considering our production capabilities, but they won't have much broad appeal to Sumeru's children either.
I mean, there are a lot of people, just like in real life, there are a lot of people who want their children to be like, hey, oh, they're in the special class, advanced class. If you market it in a way that it's like, oh, buy these toys for your children and they will probably get smarter and join the academia. It's... You'll have a bit of a... You'll have a bit of a following for that, probably, from shitty parents.
So the design can't be too complicated, but it can't be too easy to play with either.
A Rubik's Cube.
I remember that in your notes, many contraptions have managed to fulfill complex functions despite using simple parts. Maybe we can do something similar with these early learning toys.
The contraptions in my notes. I didn't create those. I simply took the contraptions in the ruins apart and analyzed them. But now that you mention it, the ruins did have things like that. Do you have a pen, paper, and scissors? I'll make a paper prototype.
You have an idea already? I suppose I should have expected as much of a respected academia senior researcher. We do have those. Yes, please, help yourself.
You're doing good, my man. Butter her up.
Oh, you're done already?
Oh my god, that's just a... That's for little babies, bro. What the hell? What the hell? This is your Grandmaster plan? It's your... Oh my god. Well, I'm not a baby, so... Oh dear. Okay. That's cute. Also, those sticks should not be as pointy. They look super pointy.
Let me explain. These 3 thick lines represent 3 poles. These paper strips of varying lengths represent rings of different sizes. They can be slotted onto the poles and stacked up like a tower.
Well, that is easier to make than I expected. So, how is this game played?
That's very simple as well. You just need to shift the tower from this pole to another pole.
Isn't this a little too simple? Even by the standards of an early learning toy, I mean.
Wait.
Of course, when moving each ring, the paper strips in this case, you must follow one rule. You can only move one ring at a time, and you can't place a bigger ring on top of a smaller one. It's like building a tower. The rings in the 3 poles must be stacked from big to small. I named this toy Pagoda Stack.
Pagoda stack.
That sounds way too simple. Even I feel like it's missing something.
Give it a try and you'll find out if it's simple or not. I heard from Anise that you find volunteers to try out the toys, right? Why don't we do the same for this game?
Can I try it?
It's such a simple toy. There's no need to...
Mamdu, let's just do as she says.
Okay, then.
And that's how you play this game. You can all give it a try. Let's see who's able to move the tower to another pole in the smallest number of steps.
Oh my god, it's not gonna be me.
You called everyone here for such a simple toy?
You children! Oh my god, you're the ones who are like, oh, that's not what an R&R looks like,
It doesn't look like it'll take that many steps.
Just freaking try it.
Come on, we all promised to help Mr. Mamdu test out the new toys. He said he'd give us new Genius Invocation TCG cards.
Damn. So they were lured in by the promise of a different toy. So they were lured in by the promise of new... Speaking of new cards, I haven't gotten the new cards yet. I really should.
Fine. Let's get this over and done with so we can head back and play cards.
I mean, it's not that simple if... with the rules that she put up. The children start to play with Pagoda Stack.
It took me 19 steps.
Huh? It took me over 20 steps.
I only needed 18 steps.
Not bad. Looks like you're all familiar with the rules now. Then let's increase the difficulty. The next tower will be 5 layers tall. Now then, give it a shot.
Wait, there's more?
Well, since we're already here, why don't we just give it a try?
Okay.
An extra layer shouldn't make it that much harder, right?
These... Dunk on these kitties.
What's going on? I've already moved over 30 steps, but I'm still not done yet.
Oh my god.
I'm almost done. Looks like I'm the faster one this time.
Done! It took me 35 steps.
What? How?
This Pagoda Stack toy is pretty fun to play with.
Isn't this the kid of the... Is this the kid of the guy who, wrote the R&R stories? I can't remember, oh my god. From Colley's thing.
Good. We'll try it one final time. This time, we'll add 2 more layers, making 7 layers in total.
These kids are not for the academia, right?
Momdu, we've still got quite a few paper strips here. Why don't you give this a go as well?
Do you need that many steps for something this simple? Let
Damn.
me try.
Madam Faruzan, allow me to try it as well.
I wanna try. Ooh.
You were looking at it quite seriously just now. Are you starting to understand the principles involved?
I think so.
Nice eyeshadow, girl.
If you want to test out your hypothesis, you'll just have to play and find out.
Got it.
Ah, we don't have enough paper strips left for you, Traveler.
Ah.
However, by the looks of things, you seem to have the game figured out.
Somewhat. Just about.
Why don't you guess what the lowest number of steps needed to solve
Are
the
you-
7-layer pagoda stack is?
Oh my god, don't do this to me, girl. 7. A 7. Yeah.
What a shame. You were close. However, you did well for someone seeing pagoda stack for the first time.
I'd rather do it than just guess, okay?
Let's see how well they do then.
After some time...
If I move this small ring, then the big one won't be able to go on top of it. Oh, this is going to take more steps than I expected.
Yeah, bro. Get dunked on.
I've lost count of how many steps I've taken. Can I restart?
This got a lot harder.
Ah!
I solved it! Madam Faruzan, it takes 127 steps in total.
That many? But there are only 7 layers.
For every extra layer in the pagoda stack, the move order you need to consider becomes much more complex, and the number of steps required will at least double.
More accurately, it will require double the steps, plus 1 each time. You did well. You didn't underestimate the principles behind it just because it's an early learning toy. The complexity of any given contraption isn't determined by the number of parts it has. The way the parts interact and the rules behind how it operates are important too.
Oh, I see. No wonder you emphasized in your notes that no contraption should ever be underestimated.
I see. So even a simple toy can become complex with the right set of rules.
That's right. The rules used for pagoda stack are the simplest kind when it comes to ancient contraption making techniques. I could spend some time picking out all those machines that do something similar and write you a reference book. Once that happens, you can give the volunteers the reference book and paper prototypes and find out which toy is the most popular.
Do you have any other toys?
Aww.
Yeah, when can we play with them?
In about 2 days or so, I think. Anise, if you're free, can you help me with the illustrations for the reference book?
Of course! I'd be honored.
Aw. They love you in Kashara War. Faruzan, you just switch over.
2 days should be enough for us to find more volunteers. Then we can organize a huge conference here, at which we can announce which toy we'll be making.
Should I come back in 2 days then? Or should I just not come back at all?
You'd be most welcome. We need more people to get a healthy range of opinions. The more, the merrier.
Thank you for coming here with me today. I'll walk back with you.
Is that it? Hey, what's up?
Is Madam Faruzan really going to mentor me? What an honor.
She's gonna have you help her.
I'm sure she'll say helping with illustrations isn't mentoring. So, don't tell her I said that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't say that in front of her. She'll just get mad again.
No wonder she's so well respected at the academia. When I first saw her, I thought she might be unreliable because she's so young.
About that.
Don't let her know I said that. Anise warned me about that before.
Very good. Yeah. Alright. Leave Port Ormos. How? Where? Hello, children. How was the tiny game?
We need to wait 2 whole days
Damn.
before we get the new toys?
Couldn't be me.
It might just be all reference stuff. It'll be a long time before we can play with the real toys.
Guess all we can do is play Genius Invocation TCG in the meantime.
These kids big brain.
I'll be going then. Say hi to Tainari and Kale for me if you can. Once everything here is settled, I'll make my way over to Pardistii as quickly as I can.
So, about Kshahrewar. Oh yeah, about Anise.
Anise? We haven't had much time to get to know each other, but she seems like a good kid. She's able to calmly figure out the basic principles behind something without being influenced by others. I'll do my best to teach her over the next few days. Still, how much she learns will really depend on her.
Why don't you take her on as your student?
Well, her interest lies in the application of mechanisms. I do have some old knowledge to share, but if we think about the future, it's easier for her to learn the things she's interested in if she stays in Kshahrewar. My research into mechanisms is, in a sense, a side effect of my research into ancient texts.
Yeah.
If she becomes my student to learn how to make modern contraptions, it wouldn't benefit either of us in the long run.
I see, I hadn't considered that.
However, if she develops an interest in deciphering ancient texts over these next 2 days, that would change things.
Oh, definitely not.
If I successfully poach a student, those young punks at Haravatat will have one less reason to cut my budget.
Damn.
Perhaps if this collaborative project goes smoothly, I can even ignore Haravatat and ask for a higher budget directly from the academia.
About the collaborative project, do you have any ideas?
Oh, I could come up with lots of ideas. With Anise's help, 2 days will be enough for our work. However, I'm still undecided as to the style of the reference book's text and illustrations.
I'm gonna stop right here and start another recording.